A mother sends her son to swim class and the unthinkable happens.
I lost it. I felt like I was in a dream.
She says the swim instructor was not paying attention and now her son is dead. What went wrong and what she wants all parents to know this summer. I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates. Dori Scott says that her 4-year-old son, Israel Izzy Scott, loved being in the water, especially on family vacations. So she signed him up for a week-long swim program called Swim Lessons with Lexi. She says that her full name, the instructor's full name, is Lexi Currington Tenhusen. She says that it was being held at a private residence in Hephzibah, Georgia. It's right outside of Augusta. Scott says that Lexi used to teach her older daughter, so she trusted her. But that was until June 14th. One of the worst days of her life. It's a Facebook post that will forever haunt Dori Scott and her husband Walt. On Monday, June 13th, Dori wrote, quote, "My big boy's first day of swim lessons. He said he's a little nervous."
So I went there and, I got ready to sit down or whatever. And she was like, "Oh, parents aren't allowed. This is the 4 and up class."
She says she followed Lexi's rules. And on day 2 of classes, as she was waiting outside in her car,
a lady comes and she knocks on my window. I'm sitting in the car and she's like, "Come get your baby." And when she said that, she said it kind of rude. Then I looked at her face and I just saw like tears in her eyes. And so initially I knew something was wrong and I just started screaming.
She says she rushed to the pool.
When I walked in that fence and saw my baby laying on the side of the pool, and I saw some lady doing CPR on him, I lost it. I heard someone behind me say, "He got to the deep end." And I said, "He got to the deep end? What do you mean he got to the deep end?"
She says Izzy was not moving or coughing. He was rushed to the hospital.
They had already told us it wasn't looking so good because his eyes was dilated. And when they did the CAT scan, he had brain damage already. So he was under the water for quite some time.
Izzy was pronounced dead the next day. You haven't had any communication with Lexi? I mean, have you talked to her or spoken to her since that moment where you found him?
My understanding is she wanted to reach out to us, but she had been advised by the sheriff department that it probably wasn't a great idea.
11 days after the incident, on June 26th, the Scotts say they got a card in the mail from Lexi.
Well, she sent refund and she sent this card and it says, "He is near to the brokenhearted. Walt and Dori, my heart breaks with you. Know that we're praying daily for God to wrap his loving arms around you and give you comfort and peace."
What is your response to that card?
I just feel like she should have reached out before, because I just know if I was in that situation, I would be devastated. I don't care who told me not to reach out. It's a child involved. I'm gonna reach out and apologize.
They receive a refund via Venmo for the cost of the courses. It's really, really atrocious behavior. I don't know if she has received counsel or if this is her way of shielding herself from liability. But that should not be her top concern right now, particularly when reaching out to this family.
Famed defense attorney Lee Merritt has taken over this case and says that the Burke County Sheriff's Office has failed to provide details about this case and has failed to provide a full police report on this matter thus far. Now, we did also try to reach out to Lexi herself. We tried to reach out both on Facebook and on Instagram. Her personal and business Facebook pages are both removed, and her Instagram page is private.
She has a list of complaints from the region about her often being distracted, using her son as an employee who's not consistently on the premises, and not following the policy guidelines for supervising children. And so there is a reputation in the community.
He says right now the case is in the investigative phase as they work to interview witnesses and figure out how the system failed Izzy.
We don't know if he was found in the deep end, if he choked on a small amount of water, if he was left unsupervised, what amount of time before life-saving measures began to take place. And so the incident that actually led to Izzy being in the condition to receive care is still a complete mystery to us.
We're told Lexi does have an active swim instructor certification in the state of Georgia. According to the Georgia Administrative Code, for swim instruction, there is to be one supervising staff member per 6 children at a time for those 4 years and older who cannot swim a distance of 15 yards unassisted. This is for all water-related activity over 2 feet deep.
And the policy is to have a certified lifeguard present when you have that amount of children on any given premise. We are not, and there was no indication from the photographs or evidence that we've reviewed that the person who provided emergency relief was a paid trained professional on staff there. She seemed to be just another attendee.
It also says that additional supervision is required if the majority of the children in a group are not accustomed to or are afraid of the water, or if they can't touch the bottom of the water facility without submerging their heads. How have you guys been able to manage and move forward?
It's hard, really, really hard. I have to keep replaying up at night, replaying what I saw in my head and not having that closure of knowing what happened, so it's hard.
Adding to their frustration, the Scotts say that racist hecklers have been coming to Lexi's defense on social media. One person on Facebook wrote, quote, "SMH, I definitely pick and choose each and every child I taught in the future. No more Tyrones." We did ask the Burke County Sheriff's Office for a full police report. They sent us a statement saying in part, quote, that our investigation is still ongoing. We have spoken to the swim instructor as part of our investigation. The report will be available once we wrap up the investigation. For TSR Investigates, I'm Justin Carter. Hello, roommates, and thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Do you want more TSR Investigates? Be sure to subscribe and check us out at theshaderoom.com.